So want to welcome everybody. And if you could, please put in the chat and just tell me what's one thing that if you could let go of that today, that it would make you feel freer. Because as we think about it, right, July 4th is right around the corner. And here in the United States, we are all about thinking about our freedom. So what I love to focus on too is the fact that Lester Levinson was the man who originally came up with the Sedona method. And one of his famous quotes was, "You have to want freedom more than you want anything else." So I really appreciate, that sense of letting go of the other desires that we have and just want to have that sense of freedom to be able to free ourselves up, because when we do free ourselves up, we're able to perform at our best. When we're fully present, we're able to perform at our best. And I know there's lots of people who will say, "Oh, I can multitask." There's multiple studies that shows that human beings actually can't. But for today, again, I want to welcome you to our July 1st Release and Recharge support call. I'm excited to have you all here. Some of the things that you guys want to let go of is maybe some fear, some self-doubt I see. Anything else? Anything else you guys want to let go of? And I also want to mention one thing is that, if you have a pen in your hand, right? Oh, I see another one. Let's see, blockage that's stopping me from moving forward right now. Okay. I always like to show people an example of how easy releasing is and how it should be effortless, right? So if you grab a pen or a marker, like I have a marker, and you just grab onto it. The pen or the marker represents our thoughts and our feelings, the things that we hold on to. And our hand or our palm represents our gut or our consciousness of the things that we hold on to. Think about how we suppress our feelings, right? We try to stuff them down. That's the same thing as holding on to this pen. Now, the other thing is that releasing is just as easy as a decision. You can just decide to let it go. So if I decide to let this pen go or this marker go, whoops, there it goes, it releases, okay? So releasing is effortless, okay? You are not going to be efforting today. Just allow me to guide you through this meditation. I'm going to be asking you questions like, could you welcome or could you notice? Those questions are truly questions and requests. They're not demands. So make sure that as you're receiving the questions, that they are seen and felt as a request. Even if you say no to yourself, right? You can say yes or no. It doesn't matter what the answer is. It's the fact that you're making a choice that actually frees you up, believe it or not, even if you say no. The other thing that I want to mention is that releasing happens from the neck down. So as you are fully present today and releasing, remember that releasing doesn't happen in your head. Okay, it happens from your heart. So as I'm asking you these questions, I'm asking you from that place in your heart. So I am just, again, so excited to see you all here today. And we're going to get started right now. And let's just allow ourselves to take everything out of our hands, feet flat on the floor. Allow yourself to take a nice deep breath in. And just be, let it go. And allow yourself to just be. And allow yourself to just be who you are. And today, our release, considering that you've given me some really good insights in terms of what are some of the things that you want to release. Today, we're going to actually have the theme of freedom, right? So we're going to release anything, any story, anything that we're telling ourselves is blocking us from being free. Okay? So that is the focus for our release today. So allow yourself to just focus on any story that comes up, anything in your consciousness that you've been telling yourself or that you've been thinking about that somehow blocks your freedom. And allow yourself to notice any pictures, any sensations, any conclusions that you've made about yourself or others. Can you just allow that to be present as best you can? Could you just allow that and be present with it? And could you allow yourself to welcome any wanting to do anything about it, to push it away, to hold it close, to understand it, fix it, change it, or control it? Could you just be present with wanting it to be different as best you can? And can you notice any sense that any of that is personal about you or who you are? Could you notice any sense of identification, of being trapped or not being free, anything that's blocking you? Could you allow yourself to notice? Are there any identifications that you're saying, I'm this, or this is how my life is, or oh, this is how it always happens to me? So notice any sense of identification as best you can. And now let's go a little deeper. Could you notice what is the essence or source of that story? What is at the core? From what does that arise? In what is that contained? To what does that subside? And notice how that opened things up inside of you as long as you did that with your heart. And try that as best you can. You'll notice that something shifted. And as that essence or that source, allow yourself to look back from that sense of source, that perspective, and notice how things shift, how things open up. And once again, allow yourself to focus on that block, on that barrier to being free, on any stuckness, any story that you're telling yourself that you can't move forward or you can't move backward, or any other story that you've been telling yourself or thinking about. Could you just let that be here now? Could you allow it? Be present with it. And can you notice too, wanting to do anything about it? Push it away or hold it close, understand it, fix it, change it, control it. Could you just be present with that? And can you welcome any sense that is personal about you or who you are. Notice any sense of me, mine, them, or theirs. That somehow this is happening to you as best you can. And just for now, can you let go of wanting to identify with that story again? Could you let go of wanting to believe that that block, that story of not being free, could you let go of that again? Could you let go of wanting to be the one with that story? And then let's go deeper one more time and notice, what is the essence or source of that? What is at the core? From what does that arise? In what is that contained? To what does that subside? Notice how things shifted inside of you as you let go from your heart as best you could. There was that shift. And now, again, go back and think from that sense of your core, of your source, of the essence. Can you look back at your world from that perspective as source, as essence, and notice how things have shifted? Things have opened up. And can you notice what is even beyond source? And if it's even deeper than that, what is beyond source? And can you notice that sense that there is no separation between us? That sense of oneness. And notice that energy, that light that connects us all, that light that lives within you. Could you allow your light to fill your entire body? Every cell, every atom, every tissue. Could you just allow that? And can you allow your light to radiate, almost like you're illuminating your body like a large lamp, and you're just lighting up the room? Just allow your light to shine and fill the room as best you can. And now allow that light to radiate even beyond the room, beyond the building that you're in, out into the world. And can you rest as that light that is illuminated and shining brightly? That is freedom. That is from the essence and the core that also connects us all, that has no boundary. There is no boundary from where I end and you begin. It is that freedom that we can just rest as that freedom as best you can. Okay, great. And can you allow yourself to come back to the room? Okay, so I invite you at this moment to go to, I believe in the chat, you can actually, um, if you have any questions, you could just put your name in the chat and let me know if there's any questions or what's present for you now after this release. So any questions, any comments, anything that you need assistance with, because sometimes when we do these releases, other things will start coming up for us. So that's totally understandable and it's typical. It's also allow yourself to notice how even this is still unraveling, right? This release that you're doing right now, it's going to unravel for as long as it does. And just allow that to be okay. So I welcome, oh my gosh, we have so many people here today. I'm so excited. But yeah, so put in the chat, put your name, any questions. What's your biggest takeaway? Okay, you guys are really, really shy today. So what I want to do is I do want to share a quote that I found from Lester Levinson. He is one of the again, as I said, he was the person who originated the Sedona method. And one of his quotes is that if there is anything in the world we like or dislike, it is master over us. So I think what's really interesting is that that wanting, anytime that we want something, anytime that we think that anything should be different, there's that sense of wanting things to change, that it has a master over us. It has control over us in some ways. It's an attachment or aversion, right? We want to hold on to it or we want to push it away. So let me see some things in the chat. Okay, so all the blocks are self-inflicted. Absolutely, right. So anytime that you have blocks, it's our own wanting things to be different other than what is. Yes, absolutely. And right. Oh, great. I'm so glad, Chantel. And Joelle, thanks for that point about how blocks are self-inflicted. That's totally right. And Chantel, yeah, so should we do this to ourselves if we feel doubt creeping back in? Okay, so here's the thing with releasing. So when it comes to releasing, I think of it as like a tissue box, right? So if you release something, right, it's like a tissue leaving the box. So it comes out, and if you've released it, it's gone forever. It's not like you use a tissue, right? You use it and you stuff it back in the box. No, and that's gross, right? So think of your issues as tissues and how you can release them. So just allow yourself to let go of whatever is currently, in the way, so that this is a block, right? You're just taking the tissue out of the box. Now, freedom, like if you want to think about this conceptually, so I'm talking to your head, not your heart right now, but if you want to think of releasing as this tissue box, It's when you have released fully all of the tissues, all of the resistance, all the attachment, all the aversion to whatever that is, and there's a sense of freedom. Now, every time you release one of the tissues, right? Every time you release one of the tissues, they don't come back, and it gives you more freedom. So it opens you up even more. And sometimes you have a tissue box, like maybe it's a certain thing that you're really stuck on. And you know what? Maybe it's just 1 or 2 times you have to go through this release. And oh my gosh, that never comes back again. But then maybe there's something a little bit lower. So it's kind of like peeling an onion. You know, I release every single day. I have a 10-minute release that when I wake up in the morning, I listen to. And I highly recommend, because I'm going to actually be giving you this replay, and you'll be able to play this release over and over and over again. Okay, so let me see. So yes, Chantel, if you feel doubt and it comes back up, sometimes we hold on to certain things and we think they're going to come back later. So Chantel, could you actually allow yourself to, actually, Chantel, I'm going to unmute you for a second because I want to talk to you for just a second. I'm going to unmute you. Chantel?
Hi.
Hi, Chantel.
Hi, Judi. How are you?
I'm great, thanks. So you're afraid it's going to come back later, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So in this moment, can you allow yourself to notice that expectation? It's almost like you're wanting for it to come back later. Can you allow yourself to notice that expectation of it coming back later? Can you notice that?
I can.
And can you allow yourself to notice how it feels really personal? Like it's like, oh no, this is my problem. This is my issue. Can you notice how that's present for you now?
Yes.
Okay. And can you allow it just a little bit more?
Yes, I can.
And just like releasing a pen, if you were to decide, could you let that go?
I can, and I did just now. It was really amazing.
Great. Awesome. All right. Well, great. I'm so excited. So what's present for you now? Is there any other questions that you had?
Well, that was the main one, really.
Okay. Wonderful. Thanks, Chantel. And I'll talk to you next time. Okay. Thanks, Anne. Okay. I'm going to put you back on mute, and let's see. Am I connected with my light, with that of my, it's my puppy? It seemed to amplify the power further. Absolutely. So sometimes I actually too, when I'm meditating, my puppy, she loves to be a part of my meditation, because humans, I mean, I should say pets, actually like it when their humans are relaxed and released. So I really love that, Adriana, that you actually pointed that out. And now my puppy is actually at my feet. So it's kind of funny because she must have heard your energy. So my puppy Bijou is saying hello right now, and now she's on my lap. Okay, so okay, great. So my voice is keeping you grounded and present. Excellent. Okay, right. Your meditation pointed to the quality of separation and upset. Yes. So a lot of times when we when I ask you to welcome what's ever present for you now, it is pointing us to those parts that where we feel separate, where we don't feel that we're, a part of things, or we're pushing things away. And it brings up the upset because. I know there's another friend of mine, a friend of mine that also was a student with me at the University of Santa Monica, and in our master's program of spiritual psychology, we talk about how the upset because is what we love to point to when we're releasing, because whenever we have an upset because story, that is actually what needs to come up, right? So whenever we're triggered, whenever we have these people who trigger us, they are actually they're actually our gifts in life. And there are certain people that trigger us all the time, and there are big, huge gifts, because it just allows us, it points us to what we need to let go of, what is no longer serving us, and what's there for us to let go of, so that on the other side, you get to the freedom. You get to be the truth of who you are. And that's why I am so passionate about the Sedona method. It truly is, to me, like releasing on steroids, being able to let go of things. And I think the other things that really anchor us into this is being able to forgive yourself, right? I always put on top of the Sedona method compassionate self-forgiveness, because sometimes we have to forgive ourselves for thinking that we shouldn't have these, these challenges or these issues. Thank you, Bijou is so cute. Okay, so some of us are saying, yeah, we have a lot of I'm upset because right now. So if hopefully I'm not triggering you, but if I am, I'm your gift for today. I'm your tissue that you can release out of the box, right? So if I am triggering you, I am being a gift to you. I am actually showing up in your life right now to allow you to let go of that. And I welcome you to come back into this session that we have when I'm able to give you the recording, and you'll be able to replay it. And anytime you use this release, you'll just be able to get more and more free, right? You'll have one more tissue that comes out of the box, one more issue that you're able to release. And I also want to acknowledge that, these are some of these times that we're having right now are somewhat challenging. So be easy on yourself, be kind to yourself, make self-honoring choices, and make sure that you're really making those choices for self-care. So often, with all the change and the upset and feeling upside down in the world sometimes right now, there's a lot of stress. There's a lot of loss that's going on, right? There's a lot of grieving. Like, even if we're just grieving our old, normal life, I totally get that. So allow yourself to be really compassionate. And also know that, if you do need a release, I can obviously set up an appointment with you and be more than happy to work with you one-on-one to be able to help you let go of anything that's standing in your way. It's something that I use with my clients because, as people are, trying to be at their very best, whether, some people are even looking for jobs right now. And one of the best things that you can do is you can release before a job interview, or you can release before a big meeting or another Zoom call, right? Because I think some of us are zoomed out these days. So make sure that you're able to do that. If we do have persons who trigger us, should we just let go personally or confront the person who caused the trigger? Penny, good question. I'm going to unmute you, Penny, really quick. Okay, unmute. Hi, Penny.
Hi, Judy.
Hi. So when you say someone is triggering you, yes. So my first answer to your question is yes. It's you being able to release whatever is the upset. So let's just say this person is interrupting you or something like that, right?
That's exactly what happened.
How did I know?
I don't know, Judy.
I'm an intuitively, okay, remember, I'm also an expert in intuitive leadership, so isn't it interesting? Like, wow. I'm cracking up, totally. All right, Penny. So let's just say this person is really triggering you. So what is it about, how can you release that upset that comes up within you? Mm-hmm. Other thing that I want to point to, again, is something that I learned at the University of Santa Monica, is a lot of times we project our upsets about things that we're not happy about, right? So let's just say does this person have a problem with boundaries?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I in this particular instance, it's something that I've yet to discuss with the person. So.
Okay. So interrupting, though, is a form of stepping over your boundary. Okay. Would you agree?
Yes, I would.
Okay. So how this works is Carl Jung said that, we tend to project onto other people. So what's happening is that we're getting upset with the person overstepping our boundary. And at the same time, we're upset with ourselves that we're not holding the boundary. Okay.
That's good.
Right. So in what way can you hold that boundary for yourself? Can you say, but if you can release on it first and then approach them with a tone, right? Because how we send a message is how people not always receive it. Because if the line of energy that the message rides on is a higher level, like something that's compassionate, people can receive it. But if it's a negative, like, you just interrupted me, like that kind of, versus, you just interrupted me, and, the impact on me is I really feel shut down. So how can we communicate with people? Because if I did it on the negative energy, it's like, you just interrupted me and I'm feeling shut down. Negative, right? I feel attacked. I feel like, you're really pissed at me and I want to resist you. But if I can come from that place after I've released about it and realize, what, that person is doing the best they can. They're actually there in service to me, for me to be able to stand up for myself, because this is something I need to heal. So it's taking full responsibility. So is that helpful?
It is, especially because this isn't a bad person. This is actually a friend. And sometimes when you've got people that are close to you, they oftentimes just take liberties because you're very close with them, not knowing sometimes those liberties have a negative effect.
Absolutely. And I also want to emphasize that people really aren't always conscious. Like, they
Agreed.
really don't realize what they're doing. So I love your
Agreed.
sense of compassion. And being able to give behavioral-based impact feedback by saying, this is what you're doing. So giving them the fact of, like, here's the behavior, and this is how it impacts me. It's such a compassionate way of people being able to see themselves and seeing, oh, and that's the impact. Oh, it's not just, oh, you interrupted me. All right, well, what do you want me to do with that?
Yeah. That's
So,
awesome.
yeah. All right. Well, thank you, Penny. And
Thank you.
have a blessed day. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Judi. You too.
You're welcome. All righty. So I am going to, the person who said that they were triggered, that it wasn't me that was triggering them. Thank God. But even if I was, I'd be okay with that. Anyway, all right, everybody. We're actually a little bit over time today. I'm so glad, because this is just my biggest passion right now, being able to connect with people that really want to be fully present so that you can perform at your best. So I look forward to connecting with you next month, if not sooner than that. And I'll talk to you then. Okay. Bye, everybody. Have an amazing, amazing day. Bye for now.